A recent study from UC Riverside provided a mechanistic insight into the basically differential metabolic effects of soybean oil. When mice were placed on a high fat diet rich in soybean oil, the majority gained substantial weight and developed fatty liver infiltrate. However, a transgenic line expressing an alternative isoform of the liver nuclear receptor HNF4 alpha remained completely resistant to weight gain and liver fat accumulation, despite consuming the identical diet. Now, this alternative HNF4 alpha isoform is found in humans, and it is typically induced only during chronic illness, fasting, or alcoholic liver disease. And it appears to reprogram hundreds of genes involved in lipid metabolism and profoundly alters the processing of linoleic acid, which is the predominant thing in soybean oil. Now, the author of this article stated that many represent the first molecular explanation for why some individuals are far more susceptible than others to weight gain on diets high in soybean oil. The discovery was that linoleic acid is rapidly converted into pro-inflammatory and pro-adipogenic oxy-lipids. In wild-type mice, these oxy-lipids accumulation in the liver and strongly correlate with body weight gain. In the protected transgenic animals, hepatic oxylipid levels are dramatically reduced due to the suppression of cytochrome P450 and the lipo-oxygenase enzyme families that generate them, enzyme families that are highly conserved from mice to humans. Now, notably, circulating oxylipids in blood did not correlate with blood weight, body weight rather, meaning lipid mediator panels are going to miss this. You're not going to see it from a typical lipid panel. This work will build or has built on earlier findings showing that soybean oil is significantly more obesity causing than coconut oil or other forms. And also we know that this new data will clarify the culprit's not linoleic acid itself, but its oxidized metabolite form inside the body. Now here's some other things they noticed. Even on the low-fat chow, the transgenic mice had elevated oxylipids, yet remain lean, basically saying oxylipids alone aren't sufficient enough to cause the obesity. And despite containing zero cholesterol, the soybean oil diet raised cholesterol in wild-type mice. U.S. per capita consumption of soybean oil is approximately five-fold over the last century and approaches 10% of total caloric intake. And that's the ultra-processed foods. Researchers emphasize that soybean is not toxic at moderate levels, but the quantities currently consumed may exceed the capacity of our metabolic pathways that are involved in dealing with this. Ongoing work is going to be examining whether similar oxylipid-driven mechanisms underline the obesogenic effects or other seed oils high in linoleic acid as well, like sunflower, safflower, etc. Now, although human interventional trials at this point that I can tell from the literature are not currently planned, these highly translatable preclinical data strongly support the need for renewed scrutiny of current dietary guidelines that treat all polyunsaturated fats equivalently. And for the greater attention we need to have to individual genetic and metabolic variability in response to these modern ultra-processed diets. Thank you for watching.